everyone. Thanks for joining. Child Abuse and Awareness with Darlene J. Clark. Be a part of the solution instead of part of the problem. Hey there, Heather Tammy. Good to see you. Like and please share. Thank you so much. Hello, Eric Bro. Call you my new bro. Thank you so much, there. I appreciate you. Hey there, Chris. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Hope you're doing well. How are you? Let me scroll down the main stuff that I normally get. Hi, Eric. Matthew 18, verse 6. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea. Learn to do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed, take up the cause of the fatherless, plead the case of the widow. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and news research. Fair use is the use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. As scrolling on the screen, they're looking for anyone with information about Devon Marsman's homicide is asked to call police at 902-490-5020. So please share this. Oh, not doing too good. I'm so sorry. Be praying for you if you don't mind. The Devon Marsman was missing in Halifax, Canada, was found deceased. Without further ado, I'll start showing from what I have from near the beginning, some of the info. Here he is right here. The Devon Marsman missing province increases reward in Devon's case to $250,000. This is only the second time that a reward of this size has been offered. Devon and Lee Marion Kane are the only two victims to have the $250,000 reward offered for information leading to the arrest for those responsible in their murder disappearance. 8-year-old Kane was murdered on December 21st, 2021, in a drive-by shooting at the intersection of Windmill Road and Waddell Avenue. Hearts for Kane and Kane's family. Initially, the police considered Devon's case a missing persons case. It was not until October 2022 that they changed the case status to suspicious and criminal. Here he is, right here. It's a good looking young man, see? If you have information about either Devon Marshman's case or Lee Marin's Kane's case, please call the NS Reward for Unsolved Major Crimes number 1-888-710-9090. Here's a timeline in a few minutes. The police have been investigating for over 2 years. They've given the family very little information except to say the case is moving forward. The people believed to be involved in Devon's disappearance have continued to break the law, party travel, and live their lives as if this never happened. We need the community to speak up and do the right thing for Devon. Here's a timeline of events. February the 24th, I mean 20, yeah, excuse me, let me start all over. Take a deep breath. February the 24th, 2022, mid-afternoon, Devon spends time with his family, then with his friends until the early evening. February the 24th, 2022, p.m., Devon Marsman, Trayton A. Marsman, Austin Gugu go to Clayton Park to Steve Johnson's apartment so Trayton can give money to Kiana Rogers, who is staying with them for a few days. Then they go back to Trayton's rental at 17 Court in Spryfield. February 24th, 2022 night, Teresa is texting Devon to ask where he is and gets no response. February 25th, 2022, 12:30 p.m. Devon takes a taxi to Romans Avenue in the pubs just a block from his own house, yet no one reportedly sees him. A snowstorm begins, and by 1 p.m., school is canceled and businesses begin to close. February 25th, 2022, 7 p.m., Devon takes another taxi from Romans Avenue back to 17 Court. The taxi driver allegedly tells the police he saw Devon go into the residence, Trayton's home. Devon is never seen or heard from again. Later, as police investigate, they play the audio recording of this call for a taxi to Devon's mom, and she confirms it is Devon's voice. February 25th, 2022, Teresa has continued to text and call Devon, and still no response. February 25th, Devon's family begins to look for him. They have contacted his friends and family and asked them to reach out and see if they can find him. March 4th, 2022, Teresa contacts the police to say they have been unable to locate Devon and none of his friends or family have heard from him. I mean, when he's a teenager, right? He's underage. Why did you wait over 5 days to contact law enforcement? That sounds suspicious to me. I mean, there's February 26th, 27th, 28th, and then there's all the way to March 4th. You wait that long? I would be beside myself, man. They would have to tell me to stop calling. Like, you gotta wait, but it's missing teen. See, it's a 16-year-old. Hey, Bucket List, good to see you. And thank you for the hearts, for him. The 16-year-old was last seen in February 2022. Posted September the 16th, 2024. Last updated September the 17th, 2024. Here he is right here. He was a good looking young man, wasn't he? Devon Sinclair Marsman, 16, was last seen the week of February 21st, 2022. Two men have been arrested in connection with the disappearance of a Halifax teen more than 2 years ago. Devon Sinclair Marsman was last seen the week of February 21st, 2022. On Monday afternoon, Halifax Regional Police announced their arrest and said they will hold a press conference on Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. No other details were provided. Everything is Devon. Marsman's family marked his 18th birthday last October with a rally calling on police to do more to find out what happened to the young man. Not knowing where Marsman is has weighed heavily on his family. My every thought of every day is Devon. Like everything is Devon. Tracy Gray, Marsman's mother, told CBC News last year. People walked through a West Halifax neighborhood on October the 7th, 2023, chanting, "Bring Devon home," to raise awareness of Marsman's disappearance. Gray traveled across Nova Scotia, putting up flyers about her son's disappearance. Other friends and family in Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver have plastered posters around those cities as well. Gray told CBC News that police knew where Marsman was last seen and who he was with before he went missing. Her son was reported missing on March the 4th, 2022, The police initially said there was no indication to suggest Marsman met with foul play. Wow. Are you just going to sweep it under the rug, and he's been missing over 6 days? Nearly, when, nearly 8 months later, police said publicly they considered Marsman's disappearance suspicious. Grace said she long believed that her son's disappearance should have been investigated further by police. See right here, they found his body. See, so in November 2022, Nova Scotia's Department of Justice offered up $150,000 for information leading to an arrest and conviction of those responsible for the teenager's disappearance. In April, the reward was increased to $250,000. Police had described Marsman as African Nova Scotian, 5 foot tall, 100 pounds, with blue-green eyes and short, dark hair. Last seen he was wearing a hooded sweater and jeans. So it says right here. Let's go first. Let's go to this, what the police have said. September 17, 2024's police press conference. Let me change for y'all be able to hear it.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Constable Martin Cromwell, and I'm the Public Information Officer for the Halifax Regional Police. Us today. In the spirit of meaningful reconciliation, I'd like to acknowledge our presence on the traditional territory of the Mi'kmaq people in what is today Nova Scotia. I'll begin by introducing our head table. We are joined today by Halifax Regional Police Chief Don McLean, Chief Superintendent Jeff Christie, Officer in Charge, RCMP, Halifax Regional Detachment, and Acting Deputy Chief of Operations, Andrew Matthews with Halifax Regional Police. Chief McLean and Chief Superintendent Jeff Christie will both share some opening remarks before we open the floor to media. I'll now turn it over to Chief McLean.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us here today for this update to the Devon Sinclair Marsman case. Devon was a 16-year-old teenager who was last seen in the area of Spryfield on February 24, 2022. He was reported missing to police on March 4, 2022. It is difficult when any member of our community is missing. But when that missing person is a child, it is even more dramatic. Our investigators have worked tirelessly on this case. Devon's loved ones and our community as a whole deserve answers. There are often not many details that we can share during the investigation because we don't want to jeopardize them. We know that can be frustrating for those who are missing a loved one and watching the days, months, and sometimes even years go by. But I promise you, our efforts to find out what happened to Devon have never wavered, and we are now in a place where we can provide today's update. Today, I am saddened to share that investigators believe Devon was the victim of a homicide. We have found human remains that are believed to be Devon's, and we are working closely with the medical examiner's office to make a full identification. We have also charged 2 individuals in this case. Yesterday, at approximately 2 p.m., investigators arrested 26-year-old Trayton Alexander Marsman and a 20-year-old man who was a youth at the time of the murder. Trayton Marsman was charged with second-degree murder, indignity to human remains, and obstructing justice. The 20-year-old man was charged with accessory after the fact of murder and obstructing justice. As he was a youth at the time of the offense, we are statutorily barred from identifying him. The two men are scheduled to appear in Halifax Provincial Court and Halifax Youth Court today to face those charges. But these charges do not mark the end of this investigation. We believe there are others involved in Devon's homicide, and there will be further arrests in this case. We also believe there are people who have important information who have not yet spoken to police, and it is never too late to come forward. This is a sad day for our community, and while it is a positive step forward in the investigation, we know nothing can replace the loss of a loved one, and our thoughts and our hearts are with this family at this time. I want to extend my sincere appreciation to the investigators in the HLP RCMP Integrated Major Crime Unit. There have been many officers, investigators across both agencies who have played a role in this case, and I want to thank them for their perseverance. Cases like this are never easy. And I know there will be many questions, and we will do our best to answer what we can. However, I will caution that there will be little more that we were able to share. The investigation is still ongoing, and the matter is not before the courts. Many further details will be considered evidence in court, and we can't risk jeopardizing the legal process. I'll now turn it over to Chief Superintendent Jeff Christie.
Good morning. Thank you, Chief. Before I proceed, I want to take a moment to express our heartfelt condolences to the family and the loved ones affected by this senseless crime. The RCMP is a proud partner in policing with the Halifax Regional Police, and I'm pleased to be here representing the RCMP Halifax Regional Detachment. Our integrated criminal investigation team includes some of our finest RCMP investigators, working along some of the HRP's finest investigators. The team is dedicated to helping keep people safe in the Halifax Regional Municipality and to solving crime, as evidenced by today's announcement. I would like to likewise extend my appreciation to the many people who have worked diligently exploring, analyzing, receiving information and evidence to lay charges in regard to this senseless young man's death. Our appreciation also extends to Devon's loved ones, all those who contacted police with tips and information, or who may do so in the future, and to the community as a whole for your cooperation and your tireless efforts to ensure people will be held accountable. It's the integrated model of RCMP and HRP working side by side in the support of loved ones and the community that made it possible today to lay charges with the experienced team in the integrated criminal investigation. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Superintendent Christie. We will now open the floor to questions from the media.
Hi there. First off, can you tell us if there's any relation between Marsman and Devon Marsman?
We can confirm that there is a familial relationship.
Can you share what that relationship is?
We just confirm that we do have a familial relationship.
All right. And when were these remains found?
So the remains have been found during the course of the investigation. We don't really want to get into timelines right now because we do want to protect the integrity of the investigation as much as we can.
Right. With that, are you able to say at all where or what region these remains were found?
I'd rather not this.
My final question is has the reward been given out at any point? Has the rewards program been in touch through this investigation?
The rewards program is something that usually gets engaged during the investigation and then awarded after. And I don't have any information about that.
So you can't say whether somebody's come forward with information that could potentially, when this matter is finished in the courts, lead to them getting a reward?
Not at this time, no. I know that the rewards program in itself is a separate program from police. It's something that is administered by the province. There are times when we are aware. This is not one of those times that I'm aware.
Okay, because the chief made reference in his statement to tips.
Yeah.
Did you get a lot of tips that?
We did. We got a lot of tips from the community. A lot of the times we have to go through those tips, check their validity, check to see what impact they may have, if it's something we know already or something that we don't know already.
Why was there such a long lapse between when he disappeared and when the case was considered suspicious?
Investigations as a whole generally take a long period of time to conduct, to complete. We have a lot of people we have to speak to. Generally, from a policing perspective, when we do these types of investigations, we get one chance to put the best file we can together for the courts. We don't want to take any liberties with that. We don't want to make any assumptions. So we have to be very well prepared to answer questions like this, and then to answer the questions when it comes to court. We have to follow where the investigation takes us, and we have to employ the different techniques and different resources and different groups in policing that we can use to move that forward and to come to a successful conclusion.
I know you won't be able to say what it is, but have you been able to determine a motive for the killing?
Yeah, we can't do that.
Is there one? I mean, sometimes these are just senseless, wrong place, wrong time.
Still not, I don't want to get into that part of the discussion at this point.
You mentioned other arrests are likely. Is there any indication as to what the severity of charges would be in association with those?
I don't want to go down that road too much right now. We do plan on making arrests and land charges in the future. We would like to compel people that are in the community that may know more about this right now to come forward to assist us in the investigation, because as Chief McLean said, it is definitely still ongoing. We are looking to speak with more people, and we do anticipate charges are going to be laid.
As this is an ongoing investigation, the integrity of that process is extremely important. And certainly we understand that there will be questions, and rightfully so, but we really want to make sure that we maintain that integrity to get a successful outcome to these matters.
You also mentioned tireless efforts of the community, but I know that was spearheaded by Devon's mom. She, has been fighting for a very long time. And I was just wondering, is there any kind of comment on her efforts to ensure that, Devon stayed present?
Well, I guess, we've had this conversation that certainly the loss of, a loved one of a child would be overwhelming. And certainly, her efforts are certainly very important in terms of keeping this in the forefront of the community's mind. I can tell you that it's always been in the forefront of the police mind, but certainly that, I'm sure the family's going through a very emotional time at this particular time, but we hope that today's event will provide at least some measure of finality and comfort that will help get through this.
How long do you expect it will take before identification of the remains is complete?
So we're working very closely with the Nova Scotia Medical Examiner's Office. They are going to be the ones that are spearheading that identification, so it wouldn't be proper for me to guess at this point in time. We do look forward to the results, but that would be for them to comment on.
Sure, but there seems to be no question that in your mind as police that these remains are Devon's.
The investigation at this point has led our investigators to believe that the remains belong to Devon.
So you're not expecting that there's a chance that the identification will come through differently, and that the case would be sort of changed in that way?
Yeah, I'm just going to reiterate, we're looking at the totality of the evidence that we have, the evidence we've gathered, and that is leading the investigators to believe that the remains that we have that are in the possession of the medical examiner's office now belong to Devon Marsman.
You said there's a possibility of many more arrests. Is there any suggestion of gang activity in relation to this murder?
At this point, I wouldn't feel comfortable saying one way or the other to that, but it's not on the surface at this point.
And the charge of indignity to human remains suggests that at least one of the accused did something terrible to Devon after his death. Would that be a fair assumption?
That would be a fair assumption.
How instrumental were the tips from the community in the investigation? I wonder, because there's such a large timeline from the disappearance, the case being deemed suspicious, and to now finding it found.
So the question was,
How instrumental were
community involvement?
the tips in the timeline of the investigation?
those tips and the community involvement were going on at the same time concurrently with our police investigation. I think, like I said earlier, that when we do receive information from the public, either anonymously through things like Crime Stoppers, or when we do neighborhood canvases, or we take statements, all of those methods or avenues to get us the information, it all has to be weighed, and we all have to look at the merit in each one of those statements.
I'll just add that I can tell you this was a lengthy and complex investigation. And the totality of the evidence came from a myriad of places, and which allows us to sit here today and have this.
Is there, in Nova Scotia history, a comparable sort of size of an investigation and complexity to this one? At least for a missing persons case?
It's difficult to say that in terms of, comparisons to anything else. I can tell you that this was on its own a complex investigation. Each investigation is unique in its own characteristics. So I wouldn't want to, somehow try to compare this to something else. I will say that this was overwhelmingly a complex investigation.
Where one of the accused was a youth at the time, is there a chance that police will be looking to have them charged as an adult, considering the nature of the crime?
Generally speaking, that's a decision for the Crown to make in terms of based on what they have before them. So we'll do that for the prosecutor.
If there's no further questions, that will conclude today's conference. So thank you again for joining us. And any further questions from media can be directed to my office, the Public Information Office. And again, we appreciate you for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I wish the audio was a lot better than what it was. The mother says, okay. Family and friends of Devon Marsman, a missing Halifax teen, celebrated his 18th birthday on Saturday. Marsman went missing back in 2022, and his loved ones joined together for a walk to honor yet another birthday without him. Vanessa Wright has the details October 7, 2023. 2 years after Halifax area teen went missing, his mother says there's no justice for her son. Friends and family gathered outside Halifax Regional Police Headquarters Friday evening to demand that justice for Devon Marsman. Devon went missing in February 2022 from the Spryfield area and hasn't been heard from since. 2 years is 2 years too long, said his mother, Tracy Gray. Gray said she tried calling and texting him for days after his disappearance. She then crisscrossed Nova Scotia for months, posted flyers and searching desperately for him. By October 2022, Halifax Regional Police determined the teen's disappearance was suspicious and said investigators believed that there were people who had information they had not shared with police. During the march on Friday, Gray expressed frustration with the lack of information and progress she's seen from police. She said despite being told the investigation is moving forward, she has no faith in the police. Not like me. I don't understand if they know where Devon was and they know who he was with. It shouldn't be 2 years. Halifax Regional Police issued a statement on the anniversary of his disappearance saying they continue to investigate and reiterated they believe there are people who have relevant information. Devon's case has been added to Nova Scotia's Rewards for Major Unsolved Crimes program, which offers a reward up to $150,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible for his disappearance. Last October, the family celebrated Devon's 18th birthday with a gathering still without answers. With each milestone and anniversary, the pain persists. I'm totally consumed. I don't sleep. I don't do the things I used to, said Gray. She said she's grateful for the crowd that showed up Friday and for their support. All she wants, she added, is to find the truth about what happened to her son. I will continue to do what I'm doing until there's either an arrest or they find my son. But until then, I won't stop at all, which they have found him now. So this is where they found the body. Read that. Here is that right there. Police charge relative with second degree murder in Devon Marsman's case. Photo can be seen of Devon Sinclair Marsman, a then 16-year-old who went missing in February 2022. This is September the 17th, 2024. Police in Halifax say it's believed a 16-year-old boy who disappeared more than 2 years ago was murdered. In a press conference on Tuesday morning, Halifax Regional Police Chief Don McLean said human remains have been found that are believed to be those of Devon Marsman. Two men, 26-year-old Trayton Alexander Marsman and a 20-year-old who was a youth at the time of the alleged incidents, were expected in court on Tuesday. Trayton Marsman, who police confirm is related to Devon, is facing charges include second-degree murder and indignity to human remains. Officials said it was a fair assumption that at least one of the accused did something terrible to Devon after his death. The 20-year-old is facing charges including accessory after the fact to murder and obstructed justice. The investigation continues, and police said more arrests are expected in the case. We would like to compel people who are in the community that may know more about this to come forward. Chief Superintendent Jeff Christie, officer in charge, RCMP, Halifax Regional Detachment, said we do anticipate more charges are going to be laid. Devon was 16 when he disappeared from Springfield in February 2022. Please get the word out. This family deserves answers on what has happened to this precious young teenager. He did not deserve what had happened to him. And y'all get the word out. Maybe it will come across someone who might have information, who might have seen him, who might know something. So just pass the word on. Spread it out there. Thank you, everyone, for coming. And I do appreciate y'all. I say God bless. Get the word out. Speak up. You see something? Say something. Don't remain quiet. Thank you, and God bless everyone.